It is time for leg day. So we've got the basic shape of the upper leg pieces for K2 now. Obviously he looks a bit weird sitting down, so the legs have sort of like gone sideways, but they're straight when he stands up. So I know it's quite kind of messy around the edges. They have needed quite a lot of tweaking just to get to a point where I'm actually kind of happy with the shape. But I'm mostly happy with how they are now, and I might tweak them a little bit later on. My K2 is going to be absolutely massive. But so yeah, that's top half's taken a while. Thankfully the lower legs are a lot simpler shape, so they shouldn't be too bad. So it'll be the lower legs, and then the feet. We've got to do obviously the knee joints here. So I think I'll do it so I can take the knees apart as well, because otherwise the legs are going to be really, really long for packing. And then once we figured out how to strap the legs together, then we'll move up to the torso, but the legs are going to take a while. And I think my plans for when I'm going to take K2 out have changed, because it was announced like a day ago that Alan Tudyk, who does the motion capture and the voice for K2SO, is actually going to be attending London Film and Comic Con, which is in July. And I was just planning on going to that one with my Vanos costume. And, well, K2's going there, and I have no idea if he's going to do any more London conventions, because I think he lives over in America, so. And especially when people from Star Wars films appear, they get harder and harder to find, so. Oh, my deadline has moved up for K2. So I'm going to try not to rush it, but I'm going to try and do it as well as I possibly can. So tomorrow we'll do the knee joints and work on the lower leg pieces. So there was one of the legs done, but as you can see, I've made him way too tall. I need to cut down some of his legs. I'm sorry, K2, because I didn't account for the height of the feet, because I'm an idiot. So, what I'm going to do is try not to break him too much. At least I know the joints work alright, which is good. No, I can build big things as well. I'm impressed, but it's too tall. So, I'm glad I've got my masking tape thing because, that's what I literally on my last glue stick. So, yeah, that bit wasn't glued very well. So, ideally, we still want you at that height. So we've got about that much to take away. So what we need to do is take away some of the stuff on the legs here. Because then I can unglue the knee joints and glue them back in further up the leg. So I'm just going to mark where to take it off. I can't do much now because I've ran out of hot glue, so I have to wait till tomorrow. But I get a rough idea of where I want to take it off. Literally about probably that much either side. I don't want to take too much of the side piece here though. It's the only issue. I can probably take up to about here off without it looking like it's shrunken. Bring that down a tad more and bring that up a little bit more. It'll be a case of chop away until we're happy with it. This is what happens when you make things by eye. Yeah, I don't do things by measurements. It's boring. I like to challenge myself. But at least now I know I can successfully make a drawing. I mean, the question is he actually going to fit in this room? The height issue on the legs, I've brought it down a little bit and I've added a bit of foam in the front of the knee joints just so when I'm moving the knees don't bend forward that way, and it actually makes it so if I lean the two sticks I've got for the shoulders against the wall, K2 can actually stand up by itself. I think it's still a bit too big, but I'm just gonna run with it and just see how it looks at the end, because yeah, I mean, it's not going to fit in this one. It might fit in this room. You can just about see. Well, there's the ceiling, so I've got that much gap to fill. Oh, I think he might actually, because the torso is not going to be too big. Yeah, torso is a little bit longer than one of these, so it comes down to about. I say we'll do it in the middle. It'll come over this part here a little bit. Yeah, his head leans forward, so he'll just about fit in the room. If I put him on display and he doesn't quite fit, then I'll do it in a way that the knees are bending slightly anyway. But cool, right now it's a case of actually doing the straps so I can see if I can actually walk with this on. This is the tricky bit. So I got a load of this really thick, strong webbing and some larger buckles as well, just to do the straps with. So I'm going to do it so like I attach a bit to the costume, obviously on either side, attach it through the buckle, and do it so I can tighten it like if I'm wearing different size shoes, because I do want to tighten around the feet and probably want to tighten around just the top bit of my leg here, because it's pretty much sort of coming up to my waist. I won't do anything for the top, so it's mainly just going to be the lower leg here that we've got to figure out. original strapping idea didn't work. It was making the legs bow in a kind of weird way. But there is a second idea which actually requires a lot less straps. Just having little plates along the back of the feet here, so it's just a bit of a craft foam, EVA foam, sorry, and some plastic that I've actually had spare from Stormtrooper armour that I've glued in here, and it's actually inside there as well, so it's not just stopping here, so it's actually a bit more supported. And the reason my shoes are still in here is because just the strap on its own, the shoe just falls out. So I've tested just a little fix for it by putting zip ties in through the loops of the shoe. Obviously I'm going to get a black pair of shoes and black clothing to go behind K2 when it's complete, but it works. It just stops the shoe coming out, and I can take it on and off if I want to, cut it off if I needed to replace the shoe, so that's not too bad. And K2 now walks! Hooray! See, I'm still holding it with my hands because I don't have the stuff sorted for the shoulders, because it's still not balanced properly, because, well, it doesn't have a torso or anything yet. And I think when the torso gets put on, then there's going to be straps down from that. Sort of like a reverse backpack kind of thing. And the wooden poles are just support. If it does get a little bit more top heavy and sinks on my shoulders a bit more, then again, it's a kind of a case of figuring out as we go. As I said before, I've never done anything like this. Ever. Not this. This is going to be the biggest thing I've ever done. I mean, Doc Ock was pretty big, but it didn't have any moving components. And it was just something that was strapped to my back. Incredibly heavy, mind you. But this is super, super light, which is awesome. So by the time I've got everything, it shouldn't weigh that much. So that's it for part 2 of the K2SO build. Now we've actually got the legs put together and they actually walk. It works. Obviously, like I said, the rest of the strapping will have to be done when the chest is done. But that'll be the next step. In part 3, we're going to do the chest and maybe do the arms or the head first. I think probably the last thing I'm going to do is the hands and the head. I don't know how long it's going to take me. The head's going to be the most detailed bit to do, and the hands are going to be the most work to do because they're going to be wire controlled hands. So you've got fishing wire, and when you pull it, there's springs in like little plastic fingers that will pull the hand shut, and then when you let go of the wires, the hand opens again. So I'll be using a video from Indie Mogul to do that, from one of their old backyard effects videos on how they've done a little animatronic hand like that. So it's the animatronics that don't use motors or anything, it's literally just cables and springs. Like on ones they've done, they've just used elastic and PVC pipe and fishing wire, so I should hopefully be able to do that. Also, thank you very much Indie Mogul for actually featuring me. Oh, sorry, camera battery died, had to go plug it in. But yes, as I was saying, I was going to say also thank you to Indie Mogul. I've been watching their videos for quite a long time. They're actually who first got me into doing foam builds many, many years ago. Back on a costume that I never actually got finished. Who knows, maybe I'll get around to doing that one day as well. It's one of the back burner projects, you know, it doesn't come to see the light of day. But they actually featured me in one of their videos, top 5 DIY Star Wars builds, and they showed off the mouse droid that I built on there. So thank you very much for featuring me. That was awesome. Having been a long time viewer and fan of you, I was so happy when they said Indie Mogul's coming back to YouTube, and so I'll be using their stuff. So as you go check out Indie Mogul, you'll be able to see me on there, and I'll be using their stuff in the future. But thank you very much for watching. We're getting there with this. I'll see you in the next one.